A profound sense of shock and grief has enveloped the nation following the tragic death of conservative activist Charlie Kirk. On a day meant for open discourse and intellectual engagement, a horrifying act of violence cut short a prominent voice in American politics. Kirk, co-founder of Turning Point USA, was fatally shot while hosting a public event at Utah Valley University in Orem, Utah. The event was part of Kirk's Prove Me Wrong series, where he invited students and attendees to challenge his conservative viewpoints. Approximately 3,000 people had gathered to participate or observe the proceedings. It was during this open exchange that the unthinkable happened. Witnesses reported hearing a sudden, sharp crack, initially mistaken for technical malfunction. The confusion quickly turned to horror as Kirk collapsed, struck by a single deadly bullet. Despite swift efforts by first responders, the injury proved catastrophic. Kirk was shot in the neck, and medical personnel were unable to save him. The assassination has raised urgent questions about political violence and public safety. The news sent shockwaves far beyond the university campus, reverberating through political circles and media outlets across the country. As a highly influential figure, Kirk had built a massive following, particularly among young conservatives. The investigation, now a top priority for state and federal law enforcement, is underway as a grieving nation awaits answers. Authorities from the Utah Department of Public Safety have pieced together a chilling account. They believe the shooter took up a strategic position on the roof of a nearby campus building, providing a clear and elevated vantage point over the crowded event below. Law enforcement officials have recovered a high-powered bolt-action rifle. The assassin was described as college-age by officials from the FBI and Utah Department of Public Safety. Officials have obtained good video footage of the shooter, who jumped from a building and fled off campus into a neighborhood. After landing, the individual quickly fled into a nearby residential neighborhood. This movement complicated the initial law enforcement response, as the search area had to be rapidly expanded. The location where the rifle was found allows investigators to create a detailed map of the escape. The involvement of the FBI brings significant resources to the case, including advanced forensic capabilities, intelligence analysis, and a national network of agents. Authorities are pursuing every possible lead, from analyzing the recovered rifle to interviewing witnesses. Utah Governor Spencer Cox expressed the gravity of the situation, unequivocally calling the fatal shooting a political assassination. President Donald Trump mourned the loss in a heartfelt social media message. The great and even legendary Charlie Kirk is dead. This tribute highlighted Kirk's significant influence within the conservative movement. Vice President J.D. Vance and Second Lady Usha Vance would accompany Kirk's body on Air Force Two for its return to his hometown of Phoenix, Arizona. This high-level gesture serves as a powerful symbol of national mourning and recognition of Kirk's status as a major public figure whose life was cut short by political violence. Leaders from both parties have called for a de-escalation of rhetoric and renewed commitment to civility. The horror of seeing a political debate end in gunfire has served as a chilling wake-up call. The political world is left to grapple with how to prevent such tragedy from happening again, and how to mend the deep divisions that may have contributed to this horrific act. The brutal assassination has left the Utah Valley University community reeling, plunging the campus into profound grief. Officials announced the entire campus would be closed, all activities suspended until Monday. All classes, in-person or virtual campus events, and administrative operations will be suspended. This closure gives the community time to process the trauma and allows law enforcement to investigate. As the campus fell silent, grief and solidarity spread across the country. Vigils are being held nationwide in Kirk's honor, providing spaces for mourning and reflection. On the UVU campus, makeshift memorials have begun to appear near the cordoned-off courtyard. For students who witnessed the attack, the psychological toll is immense. The university is mobilizing counseling and mental health resources. The sense of security that underpins learning has been shattered. Local residents have joined vigils and offered support as the path to healing begins. Just moments before his life was tragically cut short, Charlie Kirk was in high spirits. "We are so back," Kirk posted on X shortly before the shots were reported. Utah Valley University is fired up and ready for the first stop on the American Comeback Tour. Kirk was reportedly sitting at what he called the Prove Me Wrong table when he was shot. The assassination has triggered a massive, multi-agency law enforcement response. The primary focus is a nationwide manhunt for the shooter, who remains at large. FBI Director Kash Patel has confirmed the manhunt is underway, and the investigation is actively ongoing. Law enforcement officials are appealing to the public for any information that might lead to an arrest. The search for Kirk's killer is about sending a clear message that such violence will not be tolerated. As the manhunt continues and a community begins to heal, the nation confronts the sobering reality of what happened in Utah. The hope is renewed dedication to civility, respect, and safe expression. The search for justice for Charlie Kirk is also a search for a better path forward for a divided nation.